Welcome. My name is Valeria Villani. I'm a farmer and at the same time I'm an entrepreneur and I'm also a member of Agia. I would like to thank our guest and Ivano Volmari who is going to moderate today's session. We're here to talk about ideas, new insights and entrepreneurship. We're here to talk about opportunities. Opportunities are there for us to be seized. And the COVID pandemic is seen in a very negative way by everybody, but it comes hand in hand with new opportunities. Some entrepreneurs have turned rags to riches. Please remember that some of our colleagues were lost in the very beginning because they had to directly sell their products. But then they started delivering their produce directly to the homes of clients and they uh, increased their income with that. Emanuela Mironi and Matteo Pagliarani will be taking part in today's session. They are two young entrepreneurs, and with their ideas, they changed the way we can uh, carry out our job, our profession as farmers. We would like also to launch a new contest, a new competition, machine that I would like to have in the future. That's the name of this contest, this competition. We would like students to look for solutions for those um, areas in Italy where soil conditions are difficult. So students will be encouraged to find new opportunities, new ideas to solve well-known problems for farming in faraway areas. We will have a young farmer, we will have a researcher, and we will also have a person that is expert in terms of mechatronics and mechanization of farming. So these are the three main fields where students coming from agriculture high schools uh, usually have experiences. They can decide to become farmers or they can decide to start manufacturing new agricultural machinery. We need to seize the opportunities that are currently up for grab. The agriculture of the future is made up of new ideas, of innovative ideas, of young people that really wanted to go to great lengths and want to become entrepreneurs. New farming means new people, new students, means people having an open-minded attitude. It means having people that basically are able to deal with obstacles and overcome them. We would like to provide some new perspectives now to new farmers, to all young people who are going to take part in our webinar with ideas, with uh, determination. Then you can do a very good job as a farmer. You can perform your job in a very innovative way, and a country just Italy needs innovation. We need to change things, and it is only through new ideas that we can achieve this objective. So that's it by way of introduction. And now Ivano Valmori will follow suit. He will moderate today's webinar. Thank you very much for this introduction and welcome to everybody. I really like the idea of talking about ideas, young people, students. I really like this opportunity we have to talk about future changes in agriculture. What is the future of farming now? New ideas, new ways of operating coming from young farmers. In order to understand how people interact with farming and interact with innovation, and more specifically, in order to understand how people interact, I'm going to give the floor to Daniel Adzameco of Copa Cogeca, who will be introducing a brand. Daniel, you now have the floor. Hello, Daniel. Mi sentite? Mi sentite? Chiede Daniel. Perfetto. Venendo da una famiglia, di contadini, di agricoltori, situata nel nord del Portogallo, è con grande piacere che adesso vi posso presentare Coppa, Cogeca. Qui vedete alcuni dati principali. Coppa Cogeca, rappresentano gli interessi, dei, coltivatori, degli agricoltori. Vedete quando sono stati istituiti 2, in realtà la nostra missione principale in Europa è quella di promuovere una agricoltura concorrenziale, innovativa, sostenibile per il settore agroalimentare. Come immaginerete, le organizzazioni europee, chiaramente sostengono, la PAC, la politica agricola comune, e ci sono delle disposizioni molto chiare per sostenere l'innovazione e gli investimenti in questo settore. E ora ci sono delle nuove disposizioni che si affacciano all'orizzonte per quanto riguarda l'agricoltura di precisione. Inoltre, l'obiettivo è anche quello di aderire all'Accordo di Parigi. Chiaramente, come immaginerete, lavorando direttamente sulla natura, nel campo dell'agricoltura, capiamo benissimo quali sono gli influssi delle tecnologie sull'agricoltura, dell'agricoltura stessa, sull'ambiente. Comporterà tutta una serie di nuove normative anche per l'agricoltura. Noi vogliamo sicuramente fare il nostro meglio, investire in qualche modo nelle tecnologie. Il mercato unico digitale è una cosa che abbiamo sostenuto moltissimo e sosteniamo.
In fact, the European Commission is working very hard in order to bring agriculture in. We also see this as an opportunity to help us in many aspects of our activity, from the farm, optimizing the use of resources, but also to bring in new talent in youth. And we know that the new generations and younger people are are more likely to bring in new technologies, to adopt new technologies, new ways of working, and this is extremely important. These technologies will improve not only at the farm level, but will also improve, for example, the function of the food chain, would allow us actually to provide to the consumer additional information that the consumer wants, but will also enable that we'll get additional information from the consumer on how we can that we can use in our farm. So it's important that the data will be circulating within the food chain, and not only from the farmer to the other operators, but also that comes back to the farmer and he can actually do other investments on that. Then it is
degli agricoltori. Un altro aspetto è semplificare i regolamenti quadro presenti attualmente, effettuare dei controlli migliori a livello ufficiale e avere una maggior compliance, quindi un maggiore rispetto da parte degli agricoltori rispetto alle normative europee. Quindi in ultima analisi gli agricoltori avranno più flessibilità nel momento in cui opereranno delle decisioni corrette. Abbiamo tutta una serie di politiche europee che consentono agli agricoltori di investire nelle nuove tecnologie e di attuarle. Adesso vorrei menzionarne alcune. Ci sono dei sistemi che vengono supportati dall'intelligenza artificiale. Ad esempio, abbiamo un documento in cui spieghiamo la nostra posizione a tal proposito. E si parla anche di investimenti a livello di infrastruttura, di connettività, e vogliamo garantire che tutti gli agricoltori possano quindi avere accesso ad una connessione internet a banda larga, affidabile. Poi abbiamo tutti gli skill digitali e la coalizione per il lavoro. Si desidera poi continuare anche a garantire gli investimenti, i finanziamenti per aumentare quindi le capacità nel settore agricolo. Ci sono dei nuovi hub per l'innovazione digitale e vogliamo anche garantire che il nostro quadro normativo consenta l'avvento di nuove tecnologie, ad esempio l'utilizzo di droni e anche di altre nuove tecnologie. Una volta validata la loro sicurezza, è importante che queste nuove tecnologie possano essere utilizzate. E ci sono altri aspetti che adesso analizzerò e nel giro di un minuto concluderò il mio intervento. Vedete che si sta lavorando ad un codice europeo di condotta per quanto riguarda la condivisione dei dati in ambito agricolo. Come si può garantire che gli agricoltori in Europa possono trarre vantaggio da questa condivisione dei dati e come si può far sì che questi dati vengano gestiti nel modo più corretto. Abbiamo collaborato a stretto giro con gli agricoltori più giovani, con tutta una serie di organizzazioni di contoterzisti, produttori di semenze e di fertilizzanti. E quindi in questo documento che è stato messo a punto recentemente relativamente alla nuova strategia per la gestione dei dati nell'agricoltura in Europa, si riconosce il fatto che deve avvenire un cambiamento, cioè la gestione dei dati deve essere attribuita all'agricoltore stesso e quindi bisogna fare in modo che l'agricoltore stesso abbia il pieno controllo sui propri dati. Vogliamo avere massima trasparenza, avere tracciabilità delle responsabilità e infondere fiducia in questo settore. Questo è il valore più importante all'interno della catena appunto agricoltore e consumatore. Qui termino la mia breve presentazione e vi ringrazio per l'opportunità che mi avete dato e continuerò a seguire attentamente il vostro dibattito. Grazie. Thank you very much, Daniel, and thank you for sticking to the allotted speaking time. I loved two things that you said. First of all, you said that it's not about technology, it's about strategy, and strategy is going to be our most important aspect we need to focus on. And then the other thing that you said that I liked a lot is a bit about transparency. So being transparent allows us to define responsibilities very well and at the same time build a relationship that is built on trust. So thank you very much, Daniel, for being with us. And now I would like to give the word to Roberto Bandieri of Rural Asset. Roberto is going to talk about the state of the art of digital farming so that we can start talking about digital farming. And can you please expand on digital farming and how digital farming can be implemented in internal areas in Italy? Thank you very much, Ivano. I will try and share the screen in a second. My presentation is going to be very short, and I'd like to thank Daniel for his suggestions. They're extremely interesting. The state of the art of digital farming in internal areas. Well, first of all, we need to provide few clarifications. So what are internal areas in our country? We're not talking about an area just around hills between areas, flat lands, basically, and the rest of the country. Internal areas, they do represent a challenge that, if you want, the future and the development of our country. There are loads of such services in Italy, and we will be able to grow as a country if we can make full use of these internal areas. These are areas that represent a challenge for us. A couple of days ago, I had the opportunity to take part in another webinar organized by Agia, and main focus was on the Green Deal. And all the representatives of regional a region where farming means it's something for heroes, for people that really go to great lengths and really love their territory and farming. But again, farming in these harsh conditions can be extremely difficult. And these are areas, these internal areas, are basically the guardians of our local territory. Because if you treat these areas properly, then when flooding comes, then areas will be better equipped to withstand bad weather conditions. So basically, these are areas we need to take care of so that they can protect us when bad weather arrives. So these are called internal areas because they're far away from the sea. At the same time, these areas are quite fragile. They need to be protected so that they can protect ourselves when bad weather hits. Here you see some of the reasons why precision farming has not been particularly successful up to now. Digital farming is this. In the month, the year 2020 will come to an end, very unfortunately. And this is also the deadline that we have set ourselves in order to increase precision farming services to 20%. We are very far away from that goal right now. We have heard very interesting things during this AMA digital version, and we have started thinking and understanding why this precision farming has not been as successful as it should have. Here you see the average age of farmers needed to wait for a change of generations, basically, in the farming sector. There are limited investments. There's an old set of machines being used that are not suitable for precision farming, data infrastructure. So all these aspects make it impossible to make precision farming so successful as we would have expected. So what about internal areas? How do they look? They are filled up with small farms. They have little economic resources. Farmers tend to be old-aged people. Their machinery is quite old, and there are some infrastructure and digital loopholes. So basically, digital farming goes hand in hand with some criticalities that become even more severe when it comes to internal areas. We basically have cattle rearing orchards in these areas. So we have basically areas where it is difficult to do a job. So what should we do? We should study these areas. We should provide training activities for those who work in this area. We should inform people and raise awareness about the importance of these internal areas, and we should also help these people that live and work in these areas to do a good job. So we should provide consultancy activities, and they should also be supported with they should actually be supported with some financial resources. So these are areas where, again, we needed to have reliable data, we needed to raise the awareness. Daniel talked about trust and reliability to allow the mathematics. We should simply bear in mind that in these areas you also need special and dedicated farming machinery. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry if I didn't stick to my speaking time. Thank you very much. It was perfect. It was perfect. It's kind of difficult to implement digital farming in some areas. Please remember
sviluppano. Ma di queste cose ne parleremo poi oggi pomeriggio in un incontro sull'agricoltura digitale specifico. Vorremmo capire invece come si può in qualche modo intervenire su quelle che sono le terre abbandonate.
We should basically start thinking about those areas which have basically been abandoned, and we are talking. We're going to talk right now with Francesco. Francesco, are you there? Francesco, please turn on your microphone. Okay, okay. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I would like to thank the Association of Young Entrepreneurs. Thank you for inviting me to take part in this very important meeting. The topic I was asked to talk about is really very interesting to me. We need to start thinking about innovation and young people, especially now in the COVID-19 era. Internal areas are available. They're there. We can perform innovative investments on them. I am supporting local municipalities who like to reclaim some areas that have been neglected for a long time and that can now be put to better use through farming activities. So we are basically providing our help when it comes to municipal areas, and then we also have regional governments having a direct influence on some of these services. So this project that we are currently carrying out was made possible through a new law that was passed back in 2018. 8 regions in the southern part of Italy allowed us to perform this new project, this new activity, and young people can be allotted these areas for sustainable purposes, be it farming or other purposes. We have organized a new partnership along with other entrepreneurs, and we are currently studying the situation. We have 2,500 municipalities present in the 8 southern regions in Italy, and 400 of such municipalities have received direct financing by us. So these are municipalities we have been working with from the very beginning, and we have tried to perform all the necessary steps in order to increase the sustainability and raise the awareness. There are, of course, difficulties in terms of cadastry, registry procedures. So basically, we are trying to do our best in order to understand how we can make a better use of internal areas. What I wanted to say is that we will be working very much on the demand side as of next year. This year, we focused a lot on the supply side, and then next year, we will be focusing on the demand side. As you know, as it has already been pointed out before, we're working in areas where the social capital is missing. These are fragile areas, and so local associations have a strong impact in terms of social and economic factors. We need to understand how to best support these entrepreneurs, which will be performing multifunctional farming, and they will be performing a social role. Schools will certainly involved. It will also have a therapeutical role for, again, disabled people. So basically, we do need the support of all the stakeholders in this field. We need the support of everybody for the organization of these activities. And then to conclude, I would simply like to point out that when it comes to COVID, we should never talk about opportunities. COVID is, of course, a major issue we were confronted with. So I can't really see that COVID is an opportunity. But still, we should try to make the best out of this situation. We can start a new path with innovation, with a more sustainable use of the soil, and this will make us better equipped to deal with the ecological transition related challenges and similar challenges. So I really think that we can start anew from internal areas so that young people are provided with new perspectives. We are now rethinking about our paradigm, and we have to do so in full respect of the limitations that nature sets. Thank you very much. Francesco, since you're here, I would like to ask you one question. In your view, how do you perceive the activity that IFEL is carrying out? So what is the response of those operators who would be supported by your association, again, in the field of the economy of the sport abandoned areas? Well, we have a very large partnership in place, and there are about 50 associations and local companies, local cooperatives that are taking part work that we are trying to carry out. So basically, it's a very fruitful cooperation. It's a very fruitful exchange. I must say that everybody was more than willing to go to great lengths, and we are now trying to build some local community cooperatives, which could be considered as a tool to make some fruitful investment in our local territory in full respect of all social related requirements. Next year, again, with the help of our partners, we will be trying to identify local stakeholders. We need to raise the awareness at local level. We were not able to be present on the spot locally up to now because of COVID, because of the coronavirus. But now, if this is possible, then we needed to go there. We need to stay close to the people. We will ask mayors to foster this type of partnership. And I'm also involved in some national strategic meetings, and I perfectly know how difficult it can be to do some scouting activities. So there's a real issue with financing and with financial support at large. But again, we need to talk about these aspects. I think that discussing these things is as important as discussing citizenship rights, reform of the schooling system, and local medicine centers. Thank you. Thank you very much, Francesco. Thank you for this first three presentations. Thank you, Daniel, Roberto, and Francesco. So with this three presentations, we were provided with a framework, if you wish, sort of canvas, where farmers now need to draw and paint. Farmers are those who will be turning all these ideas into practice. I kindly ask our technician to show the first video. This video is about our first case study. Here you will see how farmers are starting to paint this canvas. We have a very nice frame all around this nice canvas. And here you will hear about Matteo. Do you know what is the most important thing about all of us? It's our story. It's your story. This is what makes the difference between me and you. We needed to defend our story and our history. And it is only through tradition that you can have innovation. It's only by taking care of the traditions of our parents and of our grandparents that we are here today. We should never forget about it. Our traditions are sacred. We are here to try and take care of these traditions. This is the work that farmers carry out. Farmers are the craftsmen of the soil, if you wish. So don't abandon your territory, your soil, don't abandon your traditions, and be thankful for your history. My name is Matteo Pagliarani, and I am a farmer. So you can really see the passion in his eyes. Matteo, are you with us? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to everybody. Currently connected. My name is Matteo, and I am a farmer. I love that because I could really hear how proud you are of your work, and I could really feel your dignity. As my grandmother used to say, everybody has forgotten it, has forgotten about it, but it's about farmers. Farmers provide us with the food that we use every day. Matteo, tell us about your story. You talked about the history, you talked about traditions, you talked about memories, uh, but one word was missing, which was multifunctionality. Thank you very much, Ivano. I really appreciated previous presentations made by Daniel and by Francesco. All those words will stay with me and remain in my brain. Because those words are full of meaning. Here today, I'd like to talk about multifunctionality, and I did so by using this video. By the beginning of next week, a new video will be published. A farmer is the custodian of the local territory, and this is perfectly in line with the topics we talked about today. Multifunctionality is becoming more important right now since we're talking about COVID-19. So I really think that farmers have made their profile much more visible now during the COVID pandemics. I think that people really understood how essential our role is. Why do we need multifunctionality? Multifunctionality is very simple. Here there is a direct client with our customers and with our consumers. We should never forget about it. We perform an essential role, and uh, we can really play an important role in terms of awareness raising. When we talk about multifunctionality, we talk about tourism, catering services, restaurant services, hotel services. We're talking about tenders, we're talking about deliveries of fruit and vegetables to local canteens. So we basically talk about a more direct relationship with citizens. So we shoulder a bigger responsibility from this point of view. This was the last video which was published. Some more videos are ready and will be soon published. What is the role of our internal areas? We should never forget that behind a multifunctional farm, there's a farm, anyway, an agricultural company. So basically, we really need to protect the income and revenues of farmers. This should be taken into consideration. When I say I'm Matteo Pagliarani and I'm a farmer, I'm saying this by way of provocation. It has to sound like a provocation. I'm um, I'm a farmer. I have a farm that is located 30 kilometers away from the city center of Cesena, and I would like to show everybody that it is possible to do so. We have no stable internet connection today. It was very difficult for me to listen to you and to follow. But again, it is possible to create an income. It is possible to differentiate ourselves from the rest of the market. I'm not sure whether I respected that or what we really like about you is your enthusiasm. And in the period right now, we really perceive your passion, your enthusiasm, and your willingness to do things, to change things, and this is absolutely fantastic. You could tell from the way Matteo and I speak that we both come from the same region, so we'll soon come to visit you. Because just next to you, there are some wine producing farms producing and delicious wine. So thank you very much, Matteo. I wish you all the best, and Italy needs people just like you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And if you want, I'm always here and available to help out. So now we are moving from Romagna to Calabria, and there we'll hear about new experiences. Manuela Milone. Our nurseries date back to 100 years. We now have the fourth generation of our family taking care of this nursery. In order to have good quality, you have to take care of plants from the very beginning. High quality plants is the first prerequisite to have excellent products. We produce certified plants that are safe from a genetical point of view. We have a micropropagation laboratory. Technology allows us to produce a lot of plants in a small area. Innovation reduced cost and increased sustainability. Two projects, Baby Plant and Learning Farms 4.0, were inaugurated as projects. We learn a lot about farming, and it is our duty to share what we learn from farms and from nature. Baby Plant and Learning Farms, so diegetic farms. Can you tell us more about these new projects, which are just two of the many activities that you carry out? Good morning, everybody. Miss Addison had to say that an idea is only good if it is turned into practice. Um, in my company, we have technological innovation. We want to solve problems and issues, and at the same time, we have innovation in terms of thoughts. Agriculture and farming is all too frequently just associated with the earth and with very simple tools. So we really felt the need to change this idea about agriculture. Agriculture is not just about um, again soil and earth and herds and nurseries that I usually take care of have a very long tradition. And having had this long tradition to look upon, and maybe it would have been possible to place of innovation. What we call proximity projects allow us to meet as many people as possible to share the values that farming has taught us. It's not just about being able to wait and to take care of plants, but it also means taking care of the people working and living around our areas. So we are giving a lot of gifts by nature. That's some of the gifts that we usually get from nature. We want to have sustainability, 100% sustainability, and ecological sustainability. I think that there are some connection issues. Unfortunately, let's see if Emanuela's connection comes back. No, I think that let's wait for a few seconds, and otherwise we will continue with the next speaker, and we will go back to Emanuela afterwards. If Simona is already there, I'm really sorry that we didn't manage to complete Emanuela's presentation. She was talking about great things. Anyway, we are talking about areas where skills and determination allow us to have access to new pathways. And we can certainly start changing things from schools in general. And we should just do so. Simona, you are General Director of Federal. Can you please explain to us how we can foster diversity among the students of agriculture high school? Thank you very much for providing us with this nice session today. And we really love the enthusiasm of this session. So, why did we decide to set up this competition? The machine that I would like to have. This is a contest that we set up in cooperation with Agia and Agia and the world farming schools. So why is this context so interesting? Well, because of two main reasons. First of all, we are dealing with a very important issue when it comes to farming mechanization, i.e. the planning and designing of new machines to take into consideration the new needs of agriculture. And second, we wanted to involve young people, who by definition are our future. I'd like to remind you of the project which we carried out during the last AIM International issue back in 2018. So we had a 5-day fair, and we involved the young people and students. We organized a national Agia Congress, and they are our future. So the farming mechanization industry has always been investing in technological innovation. We have to do so because the performance of the machinery has to be increased over time, and because we want to increase the areas where our machinery can be used. The research and development areas of our companies have been heavily involved in this over the years. We have had even more powerful engines, ecological engines. We had a new digitization way for our tractors. So we now have heavily technological IT systems. So everything has become much more sophisticated in order to make sure that innovations can provide better performance and in order to increase yield in the end. All this, of course, is very important for us because it allows us to somehow strike the right balance between the needs of productivity on the one hand and the needs of economic sustainability and environmental sustainability. But research cannot stop here, of course. Technological innovation comes second to what we call type innovation. So we are thinking about the creation of new machinery which does not exist as of now. are not just the further evolution of existing machines. We are thinking about brand new types of machines which do not exist yet and which should cover brand new functions for the future. In the very beginning, the Common Agricultural Policy started talking about the development of rural areas, and the industrial sector of practical farming machines started talking about multifunctional machinery. As Matteo was pointing out earlier on, this means that uh, in a farm you can carry out different activities, different uh, activities altogether. So more and more multifunctional machines were then brought onto the market for obvious reasons, because they allow small farms to perform whole series of services. And in terms of design, in terms of planning new machines, well, you have to create something that does not exist as yet as a tangible and so basically you are now organizing a competition or better a contest where students can contribute new ideas, new suggestions. That's precisely the case in our labs. Students will be asked to do some brainstorming and they will be asked to come up with new ideas, new machines that do not exist yet. And it is very nice to have again young people working in the farming sector. Agriculture is a very good opportunity for young people. So there's no doubt we should simply stop thinking that farming is just rural people. Uh, Farming is, of course, uh, something that is suitable for young people too, not just rural age people. Now that we have high performance machines, very innovative machines, we need more than in the past. Young entrepreneurs like Matteo or Emanuela. So we really need people that great vision that embrace technology and innovation as we are really doing. When is this context going to start and how can students take part in it? This is a context that is dedicated to farming schools. The students will be asked to fill in some forms which they can download from the Agia website. These are part of the project. And students will be asked to design the machine of the future, the farming machine of the future. It will have to be brand new. Support and documentation will have to be provided. A picture will have to be provided, and a jury made up of 5 experts will be selecting the winners. There will be 3 winners, one category. There are 3 categories altogether. And all the students that will be winning with their classes will then be taking part in the event within the next AMA exhibition. As far back as in 2018, and I'm sure you will remember because you were certainly there, I opened the official press conference of AMA by saying that farming is glamorous. And again, you can still feel this passion and this enthusiasm right now. Farming can be glamorous. It can really be inspiring. Agriculture is a great opportunity. And you need to master your profession, and you need to seize the opportunities that are provided by farming. So we're really happy to be able to set up this nice project with Agia. Well, can I set up this one interoperability? When listening to you, an idea came to my mind. So I will think about it. I think it would be very nice to have a special prize special this field. So we are basically here to talk about innovation in the mechanical field, and we will now be doing so with some of the farming without frontiers. Paola Adami is the chairman of this network. So what is this network of farming schools without frontiers, and why are schools of this network so interested in these activities? At last, we now word to the school, to the schooling system. How does taking the have pointed out how important the training of our young people to do a very nice job, a nice profession. And as Matteo pointed out, the word is saying it's nice to be a farmer. Being a farmer means giving back something to nature, something that gives us every day. So what is this network of national farming without frontiers? About 30 farming schools and professional schools. The purpose of this network is to help teachers to have new learning and teaching experiences. As we have heard earlier on, the school should make sure that students get in love with this profession. Perfectly agree with young entrepreneur who told me, you said we should just stop thinking that agriculture just means working the earth and using very basic tools. Farming is much more than that. We constantly work with our young people, young students, because they already have expectations. Those schools are not high school colleges. Our schools are usually chosen if people are already passionate about farming. So students that already come from is farmers. Those who attend our schools will then be able to fine-tune their skills. During the presentations, I heard, listened very carefully to the presentation of Manuela, your micropropagation laboratory in the nursery. This is what we are currently doing here in our school. Little experiments of micropropagation, which we usually give as a present to the parents. Uh, and then I heard Rebecca saying something nice. To study a lot and do it properly. Our network is currently providing young people with very interesting curricula, with very interesting learning pathways. Although it is very difficult right now to do a good job because we work via video conferences, but still, again, we have the opportunity to have our boys and girls come here to school once a week at least, so that they don't skip laboratory sessions. We have IT sessions, we have micropropagation laboratory sessions, and we don't want our students to skip such laboratory lessons. Again, the farming laboratory is basically the most important one. All our students spend some time in a farm as of the first year. So we also basically have many other activities which we carry out. Wine growing session last year of ours. As part of our network, um, we were supported by Agia, from an institutional or technical and scientific community, immediately established a direct contact with the real world. We hear a lot about the dual system, this alternating system between work and study period, a lot in close cooperation with internal areas from the upper line down to Sicily. So our network of schools a lot of internal areas. And this is why our network is doing such a great job. We should all start from studying things. Our school has to be considered as a laboratory for the creation of new ideas. And we should really try and involve young people just to make sure that they make best use of their creativity so that knowledge is developed so that we can provide an added value to our students. So we've been investing a lot together with my colleagues on projects, and for all students, new video conferences will be organized. A video conference of about 1 hour will be organized, and our students basically doing what we have done today, and they will have one young farmer, one researcher, and the agricultural machinery producer. So they will be basically meeting with 3 people already operating in business sectors so that they can exchange views and clarify their doubts. So I'm sure that there will be a very nice competition next year once the official AMA exhibition takes place. Yes, and when you start up your engine, of course, your brain, then this is always a very fruitful procedure. Thank you very much. Thank you. We still have 1 more minute, which we can dedicate to Emanuela. Emanuela should be back on track right now. Let's conclude. Let's conclude with your hope, given your experience, given the current situation you are in. So, from your point of view, it would be nice if students understood that you really have to be very passionate, that you have to go to the and it would be really very nice if young people follow their dreams, because dreams are the driving force of innovation. Okay, we really have to close right now. Stefano Francia will be now concluding this webinar, and I sincerely want to thank you very much for your help and for your contributions. This meeting was extremely fruitful for me. Thank you very much, Stefano. Congratulations for organizing this meeting. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Ivano for perfectly moderating today's session. All the speakers today made this initiative very fruitful. Many different topics were touched upon. I'm not going to mention all of them, but I think that AIMA Digital is playing a strategic role. We really need to concentrate all our forces, all our strength, all our energies um, to understand where we want to go in the future. We decided to focus today on internal areas and on Agriculture 4.0. So the last 3 mornings which we dedicated to this topic were attended by many people. And I think that we all want to make sure that farming is fostered in the future. We had, for instance, continuous training activities, professional activities, in order to make sure that digital technologies work properly in farms, then CPD, continuous professional development activities, will be needed. So this is where we have to clinch a strategic alliance with the network of farming schools and the Federal Unacoma, just to make sure that energies are pulled. And there are also other strategic aspects. We're talking about internal areas. Internal areas are the backbone of our country. The project that we are currently carrying out is about new machinery for the future, in order to make sure that we fine-tune our skills so that we have high quality farming in internal areas. And taking care of internal areas, performing farming activities there also means taking care of a potentially very fragile territory. We need to make sure that sustainability is ensured from an economic and financial and ecological point of view. I think that when we carry out new initiatives, we need to make sure that these 3 elements are preserved and they play a pivotal role for our future. Matteo Pagliarani mentioned how important history is for us. We need to be able to take new pathways and to preserve our history at the same time. So I really think that history was a clear was clearly a main character in all our webinars of the last few days. I think that we have really come to a turning point and that we now inaugurate new projects. In 2021, we will find out who the winners are going to be of this context, and we are very curious about it. We can't wait to find out. First of all, I would like to thank Federal Unacoma, our director. I would like to thank AIMA for hosting us, and I would like to thank all the technicians behind the curtains, because we drove them crazy for the organization of these events. So thank you very much for making this AIMA digital event possible. Thank you very much.